Hi guys, Ty Lord here with a pickups video. Actually, it's a little trade video I did with two of my friends from the text groups. They're both YouTubers, so I'll leave a link to their YouTube channels into the description. They're good buddies of mine. I've never met them in real life, but great blokes. We text all the time, talk about games and whatnot. I'll start off with one I got from the Sprooch game hunting from Justin over there on the other side of the country. I did a little trade with him. I can't remember what I sent him. I think it was Fallout or something or other. And I wanted, or Fallout Collector's Edition or whatever. I noticed that he had found Ghostbusters, the video game on Xbox 360, and that's one of the games I have always wanted in my collection. So I did a little trade with him. I wanted that one. So I have this one to play now. I wanted it in my collection either way. I have it on Switch now, so I'll probably end up playing on Switch, but I did want this in my collection for 360. That's one of the major consoles I collect for. But then he sent me other stuff too, and I wasn't expecting it. Capcom's Classics Collection. I think I did request that one. I have the Capcom Collection Volume 2 for the Xbox 360, but I did not have the first one. So I usually have my Xbox hooked up, so I like having stuff like this to play in the bedroom. I still play my Xbox a lot. I enjoy all of these classic Capcom games, especially Street Fighter and Final Fight. Now, I like having Final Fight easily accessible. That's one of my favorite games just to pick up and play. And of course, Street Fighter 2. The weird thing about these Street Fighter 2s, or I'll get to that in a little bit. Anyway, he sent me those two, and then Mortal Kombat. I've kind of been really into 16-bit, 24-bit fighting games lately. This is one I had as a kid, and I enjoyed it. It's kind of a disappointing port, but I mean, it looks pretty good, and it plays decent. And I didn't have it. Somehow I must have misplaced it when I was a kid or sold it for something better. But I kind of wanted to have those. I'm starting to build up my fighting game collection on my Super Nintendo. That's another console I still have hooked up to this day. I play it all the time. Lately it's been fighting games. I don't know why. I've really been on a really big fighting game kick lately. I always have ever since I was a kid, but especially lately. So I have that one now. And then he knows I'm into 007. I don't have Atari 2600, but it's awesome to have this because I collect for 007 nevertheless. I even have most of the 007 laser discs, and I don't even have a laser disc player. And I don't have a 2600, but I'm glad to have this. If I ever do, and I'm going to play this, it's a side-scroller. It's published by Parker Brothers. So Parker Brothers had the Bond license back then. I think it's like mid-'80s this came out. So it's probably during the time Roger Moore was Bond. I think the box cover has Roger Moore on it, so it's cool to have a Roger Moore related Bond game. Roger Moore is my favorite Bond. I say Sean Connery is the best, but personally my favorite is Roger Moore. I think I grew up watching him more. It's pretty close between Roger and Sean. Anyway, but it's really cool to have this. I thank you a lot. I have that upside down. Yeah, thank you a lot, Justin, the Sprooch Game Hunting, for this nice little trade here. Kind of sent me more than I deserve, but I really like all of those. And then my buddy Corey in the text group, I sent him a couple of games, and he sent me some of these games. Here it is, the same thing. And I want this too. I'd like to have it on both systems. This is another system I have hooked up always. I have my backward compatible PS3 hooked up in the living room to my Sony Trinitron. So I like to have these games available to play when I have some free time out in the living room. I go back to stuff like this a lot. It's the same as this one. I have this one in the bedroom. This one's out in the living room. But I'm glad he sent me this. I didn't have this for PlayStation 2. I kind of wanted to get rid of my PlayStation 2 collection because it's not really, it doesn't really do it for me like GameCube or Xbox, but it's just so hard to get rid of it when the collection is so huge, and I have that backward compatible PS3 that plays all PlayStation games from 1 to 3, so it's hard to get rid of that. And I have so many good fighting games on the PS3. or PS2. So I think I'm just gonna stick with my PS2 collection for now. Anyway, the only thing I really love all these. Is the only thing that's kind of weird with these things. Like this is PlayStation 2 and Xbox. They should be able to not have loading, but I know Street Fighter 2 has loading on it between the matches. And this is PlayStation 2. Those Fatal Fury Battle Archives I have don't have any loading times during the game. So, but anyway, other than that, this is really good stuff. I really enjoyed this. I played a lot of Street Fighter the other day. I need to get on it and beat freaking Ghosts and Goblins. That's one that really frustrates me, but need to get on it. 1942 I should try to beat. I did 1941 on the classic, or the Capcom Classics Volume 2. Anyway, and then Cory sent me Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo on the Panasonic 3DO. He knows I'm obsessed with Street Fighter. I don't have a Panasonic 3DO. That's the thing. I kind of feel like I might get lucky finding at a pawn shop or a thrift store or something. Like someone might think it's just an old VCR or something and haven't marked low, but I've never found one. But anyway, Panasonic 3DO, Street Fighter 2. He has the book in there. Really beautiful disc with Akumer on there. There's old Akumer. Akumer's on the cover as well. A really cool cover. Looks like it's ripped away, and it's a reveal Panasonic right there. A really cool instruction booklet. I was really envious of this game when I was a kid. The best I had was Super Nintendo. So when I would see the magazine saying this is like really close to arcade perfect, like the closest thing you're ever going to get for a home console. So I was kind of jealous of 3DO owners back then when I was a kid. And I'll show you the letter Cory sent me. Thanks so much for the games. Here are a couple of games for you. I know you don't own a 3DO. However, figured you might appreciate it. Plus not being able to get to Akuma is starting to piss me off. I hope you don't have a PS2 game. It's a great compilation that it is. Thank you again, buddy. Cory, a.k.a. Maniac Gaming, a.k.a. Mainly Gaming, a.k.a. Pillar of Conflict. I always joke around with Cory and tell him he's changed his name more times than Brutus the Barber Beefcake and Earthquake combined. These are all of his YouTube names over the past. I remember I used to just call him Pillar from Pillar of Conflict. I think that's a Legacy of Kain reference. Anyway, yeah, so I do appreciate that. So this is going to go up on my shelf. I don't have a Saturn, and my buddy Dave from the Virtua Brothers sent me the Street Fighter Alpha compilation. I have a nice case up on my shelf on display. I'm going to put this up there because I'm obsessed with Street Fighter and most fighting games, so it's cool to have that. Anyway, so there's my goodie pickups. Haven't been out or anything, just been trading stuff in the mail. So I think that's pretty decent for not getting out and doing anything. Very cool. Thanks again, Justin and Cory. What was I going to mention? Oh, yeah, he mentions about Akuma pissing him off. That is a pain in the butt. This is the hardest version of Street Fighter 2. I can usually beat, with it like maybe a half an hour or so of practice, I can usually get a 1 credit clear on any of the Street Fighter games, even on hard. This one is terribly difficult, though, like way harder than the others. The only way I was able to get to Akuma on my Switch version was through save states. You have to go through the game without losing around it, and it's incredibly freaking hard. You are a master if you can get to Akuma and beat him. I don't think I even beat him when I got to him. Anyways, just thought I'd throw that in. Anyway, thanks again to Cory and Justin for sending me these great things. Hopefully you can do some more trades. My wife hasn't been letting me go to the post office lately. I have some other packages to send to some of my friends. So I'll get around to that. You guys know who you are. I have some packages for. What else? Oh, I'll try to do a response video to Mark the Game Shark as soon as I can about video game collecting. That's something kind of fun I want to do and put a little bit more time and effort into it. So I'll probably do that next. And I'm working on my Fatal Fury special, trying to beat that with 1 credit on the hardest difficulty. I'm getting really close. I was throwing a fit on that the last couple of weeks. Usually I'm pretty consistently just losing 1 or 2 continues, and it's always on different people. Just when you think you have the whole game mastered, some of the opponents trick you. So I'll try to. I really want to upload a what do you call it? A run through a Fatal Fury special without losing a continue. I can do it on the Super Nintendo version. I can beat it. Let me show you. I can beat the old Super Nintendo version with 1 credit without losing a round, actually, on the hardest difficulty. But I think this is a little bit easier than the actual arcade game. I'm struggling on it. I'm playing it on my Switch here. I have the download copy of Fatal Fury Special on my Switch. I'm playing it. I'm playing it on my Switch through a HDMI to a AV converter to this little CRT TV in the bedroom. And usually with this controller, I can get through it with losing maybe 1 or 2 continues if I'm lucky. Sometimes I get stuck, and then sometimes this circle pad gets stuck up in the upper left position, so my guy starts jumping, so that screws me up and I can't do fireballs. I think if I get a better D-pad, I'll be able to do it no problem. But I'm really close to getting Fatal Fury Special completed on the difficult setting of 8. That's the highest setting. I'm about to do that. I'm going to start recording it. Once I can start maybe doing it a little bit consistently, I'll record it again. Anyway, so sorry to waste your time with that. I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe. Bye.